Alright, so let's go ahead and begin our first mission. This will be to increase the clawcat population without changing the size of the scaleback population. So what I've done for you here on the simulator is paused it as we opened it up, and we're going to analyze the populations of the 6 different organisms that are in our food web. First thing to note is that we are trying to increase the clawcat population, which is down here. In order to understand how we would want to do that, we would need to understand the food web. So let's go all the way back to the very base, the primary resource population for all organisms that are on this web, which would be the green leaves. So the green leaves are food for the wee bug. The wee bug is food for the stingwing and for the furball. The scaleback is the primary food source for the clawcat. So the clawcat only eats the scalebacks. So this would be very interesting to note. If we want to increase the clawcat population, the only resource that it consumes is scalebacks. Now we know that from our previous lessons that the food supply or the resource population provides a consumer population with its energy storage molecules, and those provide the consumer population the ability to live, move, and reproduce. Without excess energy storage molecules available, the clawcat population will not be able to reproduce and increase their population that can sustain at the level they're at. So if we're going to increase its food supply, then we need to increase the food supply of its food supply. So for my estimate, for my guess on how to make this work, I would want to increase the furball population by an indirect effect. If I were to increase this furball population, theoretically, that would cause the scaleback population to increase and provide more energy resource molecules for this scaleback population to reproduce and increase its population. And in turn, that increased population and increased energy storage molecule accumulation would pass to the clawcats, which would also allow them to increase. So let's put that into play and see how it works. So I am going to increase the furball population. I'm going to try and max it out. And then I'm going to lock that population down. So once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and let the sim run for 200 time units, and let's see what effect it has on this clawcat population. And just for time's sake, I'm going to speed this up. So as we're watching, you can see that the furball population I locked in at 100 units. Slowly over this 200 time interval, I'm noticing that the consumer population of the furbals, which would be the scaleback, has actually increased to 20. And over that long period of time, our clawcat population actually increased by 3 clawcats. So my guess was correct by looking at the food web, understanding our direct and our indirect relationships between the clawcat population the scaleback population and furball population, we were able to predict and then demonstrate this indirect relationship. Now, please answer the following questions, or the questions that follow this video in regards to this simulation.